Why are we staring at the camera like that? Like some weirdos.
That's how you gotta just look at it sometimes. Just look at the camera, just find out.
The quality is fire.
Yeah.
It's super fire.
Figure out what it is that you're actually even looking at.
I'm here for this lighting. I'm just saying.
So, you know, if I had a podcast, I would be like, what do I want to talk about? And
what would you talk about? Life, relationships, love, like what's happening?
I would want to talk about relationships, but I mean, the relationship conversation, I feel like would just happen. I feel like it always just kind of goes in that direction. But, recently, I'm finding it easier for me to just talk about people. Because everybody wants to talk about the relationship, but no one actually wants to talk about how their role in the relationship is one of the things that's actually hurting the relationship.
Got it.
I want to talk about the relationship. I want to talk about what my partner did wrong and how they didn't respect me and how they didn't buy me this and how they didn't. That doesn't matter if you're not willing to fess
acknowledge.
up.
Exactly.
On you.
Exactly. Yep. It starts with us, right? Within. You have to acknowledge your faults, right?
Yeah. But how do you acknowledge your faults in a relationship and make it something that you can use so that you guys don't end up just breaking up?
That's deep. I haven't figured that one out.
This is the time when you smoke a blunt and you tap into.
What if you don't smoke? Then what do you do?
I don't know. I feel like everybody should.
What about therapy? I think the issue with the black community is no one wants therapy is such a taboo topic in the black community, right? But most of us need to go.
Right. Everybody needs to go.
Everyone needs to go. I feel like everyone's got issues that they decide they don't feel like they need to deal with or whatever, and you carry that relationship to relationship. You carry that. You know what I mean? And no one ever really wants to deal with it. But
I mean, therapy is one of those things. It's like getting a massage.
Okay.
You know, everybody understands the benefits of getting a massage.
Analogies.
It is. It's the benefits of getting a massage. They're amazing. They feel good.
Yeah.
But people won't spend the money on getting a massage.
That's true.
They instead will use it as this is a luxury for me to be able to get a massage. And in reality, getting a massage is going to take care of your body so that you actually feel better. Your muscles are going to be looser. You know, there's benefits, but they're like, no, this is a luxury. This isn't something that I need.
I don't necessarily need this.
Therapy. That's a luxury. That's for rich people, or that's for this. I don't need therapy.
Yeah.
And if we think that way, then we won't get therapy. But with the understanding that people do think that way, I feel like there's a way to even offer therapy by, the ones who understand, just open up conversations. If you don't want to go to therapy, we can just talk about some shit.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
No,
we can sit back and talk about some stuff and allow your friends, the people that know you, to really go in and y'all have these open conversations where you're not being afraid to really express yourself and who you are and why you are the way that you are.
Like having a circle that you really trust is so important. No, I agree.
All of us are fucked up.
Listen, on different levels, but we all got some things
Everybody got
we need
things
to work on.
Everybody got things. We all have.
That is facts.
The overall, it doesn't even have to come from what happened in our own homes as far as us being messed up. The fact that we have had the opportunity to see what has happened to black people from when black people first got here.
Yeah.
That's traumatic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When we see the racism and we see the white cops just beating black people for no apparent reason, when you hear a black person say I'm not resisting but still getting beat, like that's traumatic. That leaves me as a grown man. I'm like, damn, if I get pulled over, am I about to get shot?
Yeah, then that's that fear. It instills fear.
The fact that that's a little thought, like that's not even a heavy thought on me. I don't think I'm gonna get shot every time I get pulled over, but the fact that it's a thought of like shit, like. Could it?
Listen.
Could they look at me
as a black man?
Listen,
you're fighting for your life every day. That's the reality of it.
So with that understanding, knowing that there was all of these traumatic things that have happened, all the, figuring out life was traumatic as well.
Yeah.
All the stuff that I went through growing up, figuring out life is traumatic because every situation, even though now I can go back and reflect on it and I can actually use it in the moment. Shit. Okay. Those situations was intense.
Listen.
Shit, I need counseling just for that. I need therapy just because of what happened in my 20s. I'm like, man, let me get some therapy about that.
I'm still trying to get over it.
I'm trying to now process it, and And I have. I'm good now, but the processing of it was understanding that things happen. You know, life is the teacher
Yeah.
that all of us need. And whatever happens, regardless of what it is, as long as you're still alive at the moment when you wake up and say, I truly want to do something different because I'm aware of what I've done and I don't want to do the same thing again.
Right.
You know, then you'll be like, okay, how can I use what I've learned to get me to where I'm truly trying to be? How do I compile all of this data to say now I have the courage and the strength to really go out into this world with the understanding that nothing is promised, so I don't have to care what people think about me. I don't have to care how people feel about me. I can be unapologetic about just me and who I am.
Right.
When you take all the pressure of the world off of you and you have to sit back and you have to figure out who the fuck you are, not even taking into account the people who raised you and what they taught you and how some things that you were right, like you have to release all of it.
Exactly.
To figure out who you are.
No, that's true.
And you might even have the same beliefs that you currently have, but at least you went out there and you found it out for yourself and you seek the knowledge. Like you understand why you believe in the stuff you understand.
Exactly.
Instead of just saying, well, this is what I was told.
Exactly.
Fuck that.
I agree. No, that's true.
That's all of us.
That is true. We're kind of molded into what people want us to become, right? It's interesting.
Molded into what people want us to become. And why would we be living like that? Trying to
Because you don't know any better. Like, I think for me especially, I always, like, my mom's very spiritual. She's very religious, you know what I mean? So I grew up in the church. And so as I got older, it was like, I have these beliefs and I've never really, like, felt the need to, like, challenge. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It makes sense.
Yeah, because that's what I grew up knowing.
Right.
So I think once you get older, it's like, it is important to kind of challenge these beliefs because I've been told this for so long. But it's like, but do you really, and I'm not saying I don't believe, I'm a believer,
right.
You know what I mean?
But is that what you believe in?
Right.
Like, are you
but
sure?
Have you ever really challenged it or looked into other religions or other, you know what I mean? And I think it is important because you grow up and you just kind of believe what your parents say, your teachers say, or whatever, you know what I mean? And
I don't know.
it's interesting. It's very interesting.
But I think what a lot of times what happens is you'll end up recreating their life because if you're not being taught to take what I'm teaching you and then expand on it, if you're just being taught to this is what it is and this is what you need to duplicate in it and exactly like this, then if I look back on my parents' lives and I'm like, man, I don't want to duplicate that. So that means I have to go out and figure out who I am.
Exactly.
Because if I duplicate what happened when I was growing up, then that means I'm going to live the same way that I was when I was growing up.
And
I'm like, I don't really care for that cycle because that's not why I'm here.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't blame anything on how I grew up or what I learned and the situations that I've been through. But what I do now is say, well, let me create my own story. Let me create
Amen. Come on.
because I have to figure out what it is that I want to do while I'm here.
Yeah.
And
your purpose.
Right. Like not just working and paying bills and not just that. Something that's deeper than that. Something that when I wake up in the morning, immediately I can get on to whatever it is that I want to do because my passion and desire for it is so strong that I'm like, I am being pulled in this and I am willfully allowing myself to let go of everything. Fuck it. Any judgment, like it doesn't matter. Like having, all the conversations having with people and people are like, oh, I don't want so-and-so to be looking at me this way and I don't feel good about how so-and-so feels about me if I were to do this. And it's like, why would you live like that? There's so much pressure on you to try to be somebody that you're not. Or,
But do you believe have you gotten to a point where you feel like you have stopped judging yourself? Because I feel like that's a lot of it too. I know especially for me, I'm very critical of myself. And sometimes I feel like I'm harsher on myself than other people. You know what I mean? So I think you have to get to a point too where it's like that self-talk, like that negative self-talk that we have sometimes is even greater than what outside sources have to say about you.
It's that self-love.
Exactly.
Really, really loving yourself. I mean, that goes with that's the most important thing to me. When you can love yourself and you truly love yourself. You're not trying to manipulate yourself to make anybody else feel better about you. You're literally just loving you. And if you do want to do anything and you want to change anything because that's just what you want to do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If you know, and you see that all the time in people where they're like, I'm not giving a shit what people think. I got a tattoo on my face.
Right.
You clearly
right.
don't care what people think.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yes, I'm not getting a tattoo on my face, but I can be comfortable within me to say that whatever I decide to do to my body is my decision. I don't care about what everybody else thinks, and I'm not, you know, I love myself. I'm
Right.
comfortable in my skin. You know, I am 100% okay with me exactly the way I am, and if I do want to make any changes, that's because I want to, and I'm going to do that, you know, however I need to do that, but that's going to be all for me.
Exactly.
You know, and that's a hard place to even get to because of society, though.
That's true. I totally agree.
That shit is everybody's trying to look like somebody else in a sense, well, you know,
Right.
except for the people who are okay with just being them. Some pressure.
The pressure of it. Oh!
I don't know, Ange. I think
what
you
does it
can.
mean?
I think you can do podcasts. I think you can.
I don't think I'm that interesting.
Right.
But
I got some shit I can say
Listen.
to put y'all up on game.
listen, this is the deep man right here. I just listen.
I think everybody, man, the people who get comfortable enough to just tell a story,
Yeah.
because you have stories to be able to share. You've been, you know, through relationships.
Listen,
and-
I got all the relationship stories. If people want to hear my
what do you-
tragic relationship story.
But you have to give them something to take from it. What do you learn
exactly.
from it? What did
No, I
you
totally
learn
agree.
from it? You know, if you can give somebody
Yeah.
that, they'll listen to all your stories because
That's
they
true.
know that there's going to be a message that they can use.
No. Yeah, and years ago, my message would have been, dating is whack.
Right.
Relationships are trash.
That's been your message for a
It's
little
been my
bit.
message for a long time. Don't do it to yourself.
You ain't never stopped dating. You just went back and forth in dating, and
Yeah.
you've been trying. You've been taking little stabs at it.
Listen.
You and the guys haven't been able to line up.
No. But you learn a lot. I feel like you learn a lot about yourself the more that you date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you tolerate, what you won't, you do learn a lot.
Oh, wait, did I miss your turn?
No, I'm at your house.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So,
I wonder what I would have learned if I would have dated more.
yeah.
I mean, I've dated, but I haven't dated. I haven't like been in a relationship and just been exclusive with just a person, and we've had that conversation. I haven't done that.
I mean, I haven't done that in 10 years, so.
Man, I'm close. I'm close.
Listen, I've been single for a minute.
Mine's is since 2013, and we're at 19.
You're not too far behind me.
Yeah, I'm right there.
But just dating. I feel like I date a lot. Like, I'm always like dating someone new. That's how I feel.
Shit, I always would just ask a question. Do you feel like you know you?
I feel like I do to a certain degree, yes.
To a certain degree, you know you?
Yes. I mean, of course, I still feel like, there are things that I'm learning about myself, especially when
Right.
it comes to like relationships and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I think for the most part,
Someone said to me, I even forgot who it was in this moment, which is really good because I can talk freely about it. But someone said to me that they know how to love people the way that they want to be, or the only way that they know how to love someone is a certain way, and it's the way that they want to be loved. So, you know what I mean? And I was thinking about it.
they love based upon how they want to be loved.
Yes.
I don't think that's how it's supposed to be, right?
It's not. It's
Okay, I was
I'm not gonna say that and I get where that comes from, because where that comes from is you're still loving. You're still loving. You know, you're not taking away the fact that you love. But what you're doing is that you have a specific way that you love, and if the person that you're with doesn't receive love in that way, then the relationship probably won't work, because this is how you show love. And then I'm like, well, in reality though, you should be able to adjust your love giving to whatever the person
That's
needs.
the whole point of like a love language. Everyone has different love languages. So if you're not giving the person what they need, it's not gonna work. That's how I feel. Like, some people are like, I'm super affectionate and I need that, right? If they don't get it, it's a problem. It becomes a problem in the relationship. You have to be able to, like you said, adjust to what a person needs and wants are, because if not, there's gonna be somebody else that can give them that, and now you got a whole ass issue.
Right. But then do you have to know your love language in order to be able to be strong enough in a relationship to be able to receive and be able to give your partner what they need?
Yes. I think you have to know your love language. Yes. For sure.
I don't know if I know mine.
How do you not know yours?
I think mine's
There's a
physical
whole ass
touch.
test. Huh?
I think mine's is physical touch. I love touching. You know, I'm a massage therapist. I love touching.
But that's what you like to give, or that's what you
But
like
that's
to
what
receive?
I like to receive.
You
I
like to
don't-
receive that.
I don't like to
Got
give
you.
any love language. I like to give whatever. I like to give whatever's needed for the partner that I'm with.
So nothing. It's not easier for you to give someone physical touch because that's what you want.
No.
Interesting.
I literally, I've studied the love languages and gained an understanding of it.
Yeah.
Whatever my partner needs, I can give. And
Got it.
I'm doing that because it's a choice.
Got you.
You
Yeah.
know,
Exactly.
loving someone the way they need to be loved is a choice. You're not just going
Agreed.
to just innately know. I mean, you might get lucky.
Yeah.
You know, but loving them the way they want to be loved is a choice, and I choose to love my partner exactly the way they need to be loved. I choose it.
Yeah.
You know, you have to choose that every single day because it's going to be rough. That's when, you know, there's going to be a lot of temptation out there, and you have to choose to love your partner.
I agree.
You know, the way they need to be loved, so that you can make sure that when they go out into the world, that temptation is not going to take over because they're not getting what they need at home.
Exactly.
You know.
Agreed.
But I thought that was interesting.
That's deep.
It really is.
You kind of
It is.
deep.
You know, trying some shit.
You a little bit deep, okay?
I know a little bit, man. I just can't apply it.
Boy, bye.
Not right now.
Get out of
Not
here.
right now. I gotta figure some more shit out.
You got this.
You better go wash your car.
Heck yeah.